The big question is, can a Tesla Cybertruck actually be a robotaxi? So Tesla has Robotaxi Day on October 10th, which is just a few days away. So if Tesla is so confident they can release a robotaxi product, a vehicle that can just drive you from point A to point B without even being in the driver's seat, shouldn't the Tesla Cybertruck be ready to be a robotaxi as well? After all, it has the latest version of full self-driving. It has 12.5.5, a version other Teslas don't even have yet. This is true end-to-end full self-driving. It's on the highways. It's everywhere. It should be the best that Tesla has to offer. So what we're going to do, we're just doing a robotaxi scenario. I'm having it drive me to the post office. I need to run an errand. This is just like if, somebody called a robotaxi and wanted to go to the post office. So can it take me to the door of the post office like I want without me intervening? Because basically pretend I'm sitting in the back seat. Pretend this is like a robotaxi, Uber, Waymo type vibes, okay? Now for this turn right here, I can tell you there's going to be a little bit of drama because this right lane ends. I kind of wish it did have the foresight to know that. So we have somebody on our right trying to merge. We have people behind me. I need to merge. But it did good. It just snuck right over, and it didn't wait until the lane ended either. See, the lane ended right there. It actually got over beautifully. It's wanting to get over. Perfect. It needs to get over again. And there's somebody right next to us, and there's somebody right behind us. And an exit's coming up. This is a problem. Right now, we need to get over. We need to get over! That was bad. That was bad. Thankfully, they let me over, but we totally just broke the law right there. It was a double line. We should have been over by now. This person's going to kill us because we need to get over again. Yeah, needs to be a little bit more aggressive with this lane changing. But, for a robotaxi, it's okay. It's okay. It just doesn't obviously pick the correct lanes like somebody that is familiar with the area. So hopefully that it does have the ability to learn, this is the optimal lane to be in. But as far as driving, it's been okay. I haven't yet feared for my life. It's slowing down good. It's making the turns good. Let's see how it does with right turn on red. It stopped because people are turning. So, that's ideal that we don't pull out in front of people. Let's see how quick it is to go. Oh, shit. Somebody was coming and we pulled out, but it was okay. It's probably something I would do. And this right lane ends and it got over. See, how did it know that? It knew this lane ended way before we even got to it. So that part right there is impressive. Now, right now, it says the speed limit's 25 miles per hour, but it's on auto speed, where it kind of guesses how fast a human would be going. And we're going 38. So we are going 13 miles over the speed limit. And if this is actually a 25 mile per hour zone, that's quite quick, and a cop could definitely pull you over. I'm not sure how that would work if we were in a robotaxi. What does the cop do? Now here it says the speed limit's 15 miles per hour, which I just read it, and we are slowing down. We do need to get over because this truck is just like wanting to turn, but whatever, we waited, it's fine. We're going very slow here. I would be going a little bit faster. Cool. Hey, and the post office is right up here. So all we have to do is just go through this red light and make a right. And the post office will be there. Now, the thing is with full self-driving, right now, it doesn't really park for you. You can turn full self-driving off and then enable auto park, but depending on the parking spots, like if they're the slanted pulling kind, I don't think it's going to auto park there. But for the sake of can FSD be a Robotaxi, you necessarily don't need it to park if it's a Robotaxi. Just imagine you call an Uber. The Uber driver is just going to drop you off at the door at the vicinity on the property. So if it can get us into the parking lot of the post office, I consider this a win. I consider this that the Cybertruck does have the capability to be a Robotaxi. And that determination will be made in just a few seconds because we are going through the light and we're about to take a right turn. Will we make it? Will we take anybody out? Wow. Okay, so we're at the post office. It says autopilot navigation complete. Press accelerator pedal. What? It kind of parked. Do you see that? What? I mean, we're not in a parking spot at all. Okay, it kind of parked. I'm shook. Okay, so point A to point B, the Cybertruck passes at a Robotaxi. But as of right now, it can't back up like this. So I had to back up out of my parking spot. And now I have to put it into drive before I can turn on FSD. We're very close to stuff. It kind of just hung up. I'm going to give it a little bit of gas, figuratively. So it could have made the turn, but it was kind of like, okay, now I'm confused because it wants to go left. Like the navigation said it wanted to turn left, but then the turn signal was on right. And now it's completely rerouting, which is fine. Rerouting's fine. As long as we get to our destination safe and sound, as long as we don't get into any accidents. Like, the ultimate goal of full self-driving is to not crash. Like, that is the directive. Get to your destination while avoiding the collision with other automobiles and objects. So, you know, if you have to... Ooh, can you stay on your line? It's kind of crossing the line. It makes me a little bit nervous. So we're at a three-way stop sign. FSD does do a better job now at, like, going quicker through stop signs. Before, it would kind of take a while. So if you were at, like, a intersection, it felt like you would be letting people through. Okay. They have a stop sign. We can go. Wow, see, that was actually good. Like, it stopped a respectful amount of time. Beautiful. Now, what FSD doesn't do is, it doesn't play by niceties. Like, you see this car pulling out. It's not going to make, it would not make room for cars like this. So, yeah, they're going to hate me probably. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're pissed off at me. I can tell. Maybe don't exit at the busiest intersection. Sorry. Yeah, so basically the issues I'm noticing with FSD aren't really like safety issues. It's just being mindful to other drivers. Oh gosh. We have a truck coming. We got a pedestrian. Now this is interesting because we got in the left lane. Both lanes are turn lanes. So by that logic, it chose the correct lane. But I'm pretty sure the right lane is the correct lane to be in for where we need to go. Like, I don't know. You just have to like be a local, you know? Like when you drive locally in an area, you know the correct lanes to be in for where you need to go. And as full self-driving, as like AI, Tesla should be able to predict that, right? They should know, like, you know, based on all of this traffic, it's probably better to be in the other lane. But I mean, we did skip a lot of cars, so there is that. It's just that aspect of being courteous to other drivers that FSD really doesn't understand. For one, we are driving the Cybertruck, which is the biggest Tesla. And we need to, you know, we're going to need to get over into that lane. And it's backed up as far as the eye can see, so we're going to have to be able to, we're going to have to drive a little bit aggressively. Oh, one thing to point out, I don't think I've really mentioned this. Not that driver monitoring matters with Robotaxi, but this camera right here watches me. And I can wear sunglasses or not. And FSD has gotten so good where they removed the steering wheel nag. You don't even have to put your hand on the wheel to pay attention. But I say like that doesn't matter with Robotaxi, because with Robotaxi, there will be no driver monitoring. Because with Robotaxi, you're going to have a passenger in the back seat even. So why are you monitoring a driver? But just the fact that Tesla removed physical steering wheel nag means they're getting more confident. And the fact that we can use sunglasses or not, again, means they're getting confident. Okay, the moment of truth. This is probably the most stressful thing of this entire drive. It took the turn good, even with traffic next to us. And we do have to get over. We do have to get over. Which there's plenty of room right now. I would have done it by now. I would have done it by now. But this is Robotaxi. I can't tell it what to do. Ugh. And now we're at a red light. And now we're at a red light, which is going to basically cause more traffic. It's going to make it harder to get over. I guess I'm kind of being a backseat driver, like even though I'm in the front seat. If you were driving in the back of an Uber, you wouldn't really be paying attention to if your driver is in the correct lane. You would just you wouldn't be worried about that. You would just trust that they would get you to your destination. So right now, I'm going to trust that the Tesla is going to get me to my destination. But what I can tell you is, based where we're at right now, we need to basically cut through 2 lanes of traffic almost immediately through this intersection. And we're not even the lead car. So, we're basically just crossing our fingers that traffic spreads out enough to where we can get over. Okay, it's green. The moment of truth times 2. I thought it would have gotten over by now, but here we go. There's someone right next to us. Like, go, people, go. Oh my gosh. I mean, looking at the map, you're pretty much going straight. Wait, am I in the correct lane? Oh, I only need to get over one lane, I believe. I don't know, I don't remember now. Maybe I'm complaining for nothing. Traffic's a little heavy right here. We do need to get over. We should have gotten over. Yep. It's probably like, to be fair, I have noticed that exit right there confuses a lot of people. But now we're kind of screwed. Like, I'm not sure what it's going to do now. Oh, gosh. Why do we have our... So it got over. I'm kind of terrified right now because... Well, okay, maybe it's going to do its thing. It actually isn't the end of the world. It's rerouting pretty good. We're not that far off of our destination. Now, to be fair, the Cybertruck is probably the worst equipped vehicle to be a robotaxi in heavy traffic. You obviously cannot just like zoom in and out of tight traffic easily. It's a big vehicle and you have to be, you know, remotely safe. So maybe it determined that this is the best way to go based on the traffic. I don't know. I personally, it all went back to if we were in the correct lane at that stop light, we wouldn't have to do this. But it's rerouting fine. Most importantly, we have not had to take over. You know, like if we take over at any time during this test, it's a fail. Because if we take over, I mean, you can't take over in a robotaxi. If you're sitting in the back seat and you have to take over, that probably means there was going to be an accident, which is not ideal. Now we're coming up to a stoplight with a yield sign. Beautiful, like, okay. Whew. I've calmed down. I've forgiven the Cybertruck for its dumb decision making, but it rerouted beautifully. There was no drama. We got right back onto our route where we need to be. And again, as a passenger, if I was in the back seat, I wouldn't have even known. If I was in the back seat partying, having fun, or just like on my phone, I wouldn't have even known. From like a driving perspective, like, does this feel comfortable? Am I fearing for my life? I feel like I would be fine in the back seat right now. It's not allowed. It's not legal right now in this current state. But if I could rewind time and experience this all over again, I could sit in the back seat and be perfectly fine, perfectly content. It does need some improvements on, you know, its logic when determining which lanes to pick. I don't know if all of that information is stored like in Google Maps or not. It's going to have to use AI and vision and all that stuff to kind of feed data back to the cloud, back to the fleet. But Tesla, they're an AI company. Why do we have our turn signal on so soon? Whatever. All is well. The turn signal just turned on a little bit too soon, way sooner than I would ever turn it on. But anyway, Tesla is an AI company. They're a data company. They're not a car company. I think the world will see that soon. So if there's going to be any company that's going to map out the roads properly and like map out the best routes to take based on real world driving data, like recent data, not just data that was mapped, you know, months ago, Tesla's going to be the one to do it. And the crazy thing is, like, I'm using full self-driving 12.5.5, and I very well could be the first Cybertruck in this area using it but it's just like, it's using Tesla Vision. It's not using mapped out stuff. Oh, I got vibes like we were going to run into the median, but we didn't. Oh, God. Fine, it was fine.